This is an incredible story. A 6-year-old girl confronts a robber who was burglarizing her, I believe it was her father's business, right? But this robber has, we'll just watch the video.
That's an axe! Old does not need to see this.
And then watch, he full on kicks, kicks the guy's head. Look at her, just
stop doing that.
So brave, that little 6-year-old girl. And then dad is, I'm sure, scared.
She's old enough to have danger awareness, and she doesn't give a fuck.
So to give you some context, so first of all, the little girl's name is Sarah Patel. You are so courageous, Sarah Patel. This took place in Auckland, New Zealand. So according to her parents told a number of different media outlets that she wanted to save Jordan, 19 years old. He's an employee there. And her mom and dad said, luckily she didn't get hurt and she came out healthy, but those were the words that the little girl said, so they're repeating what she said. And that also that the little girl said, hitting is a bad thing and I wanted to stop it, but when I saw the axe, I turned around and ran. Now, once the guys fled, because the police were already notified, the police did catch them. They had to chase them. They ended up laying out like a bed of nails, and that's what initially stopped them. They caught them. They did go to court, and they have been, except one is missing. So they caught 5 16-year-olds. So it was 5 16-year-olds that did this. There were 6. One they're still on the hunt for, and they are charged with aggravated robbery, injuring with intent, and breaching bail. Thoughts, 5 words or less.
Sarah Patel.
I hate your job.
Don't try this at home.
She's on my team. If we're picking teams again, she's on my team, and she is the team captain.
Wow.
She's like a real-life hit girl. She's not trained.
This is dangerous.
It is dangerous. You don't want your kids to do this. She obviously did not see that. Once she saw that this guy had a weapon, she did hightail it out of there. But that takes a lot of courage to go up and say, stop hitting, or whatever she said.
And also, how cool that her initial instinct was to stop this person, before she saw the axe. And of course, that's great that she ran away. But I think a lot of times when I watch videos like this and we hear stories like this, I wonder, what would I have done had I been that age in that same situation? I would have ran the fuck away. I would not. And it's just amazing that she had this instinct to be brave and to protect this employee that, that I guess Jordan she felt close with, or even if she didn't even know him, just to step up like that at the age of 6.
But even at that age, would I do that now?
Right.
No.
What would you do? What do you think you'd do?
I don't know. The thing is, she's 6, so the guy's probably less likely to feel threatened by her. So the older you get and bigger you get, he was kicking a 19-year-old, so he'd probably kick the crap out of me.
Well, it makes you nervous to think that when you watch the video and you see her go up to him and you're like, you have no idea who this person is, and he could have very
He pauses
easily.
for a second. He's kind of like, what the? And then he goes back to.
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
But doesn't that sort of show also the weird dynamic of this entire situation? There's a whole story here that Law and Order is just waiting to pick up because he saw the girl and he chose not to harm her or touch her. He didn't even push her away.
But it's a 6-year-old. I mean, these people are the 16-year-olds trying to make a buck. You know what I mean? They're not sociopaths.
They didn't need to stomp on dude's head, though. You can go try and steal and make a buck without. Then the other guy came back in and kicked him again. So that was kind of BS.
It's like when you see a giant.
Maybe.
When you see maybe it's but also when you see a giant dog and a baby, on a base level that dog knows this is a baby. So it's in the middle of something being a dog, eating. Look over and be like, oh, it's a baby. I'm not going to mess with it.
Crazy?
So on a base level, maybe it was that instinctive where he was just like, I'm a troubled 16-year-old lashing out. Oh, baby, go away.
And
I'm
also,
gonna get
when
back
you
to
see them let the dad and the daughter go, and you just have the dad has his hands up. It's the whole situation. I think says so much to how we are conditioned as humans.
Right.
When you throw such an innocent 6-year-old into the situation, it just throws a total wrench and a new spin on what would have just been a terrible robbery.
And talk about terrifying, because there are repercussions even to that robbery. Of course, I'm sure they lost property or whatever. Maybe it's now being recovered since they were caught. But there was, at some point in the article, they talked about that now she's having trouble sleeping, the 6-year-old girl. So even though she was really brave in that moment, that's traumatic. So now she has anxiety, according to her parents. As I said before, trouble sleeping. And I hope that she's able to I don't know if she needs to talk to someone now because that's freaking
Yeah.
scary.
Luckily,
So sad.
no guns.
Yeah.
Luckily, no guns.
Right.
Have you guys?
That's why they had to use an axe.
That's a great point.
Have you
because
guys
in the heat
ever
of a
been-
moment, who knows how that could have escalated if somebody
Yeah.
had a gun.
Right. Have you guys ever been in a situation where you were a kid and you had to step up, you were put into something uncomfortable and you had to be brave, anything like that? I mean,
have
nothing
one-
like this.
I've never
nothing
been
like
brave,
this, but I had
so.
one situation that I remember very clearly, and it was coming off of the school bus. I was walking out with my friend, and there was an older kid that was making fun of her, her race, and she had been made fun of by that kid for quite some time, and he had made fun of me too, and for other reasons, calling me like ET fingers and like flat chested. It looked like I walked into a wall and then my nose popped out. He was a dick.
Oh my God.
Very creative, though.
Yeah.
Creative asshole.
Did you
Creative
walk into a wall and then your nose just popped out because you're flat chested? He was a dick. So anyway, when he made fun of Heather, I think it kind of like, I was protecting her, but more so I was also like fed up, and I went up and I fucking body slammed him. I don't know where I learned that move.
You body
Awesome.
slammed him?
I was taller than him. I was quite taller than him. I like scooped him up and flipped him over, and it was amazing.
That's awesome.
Have you guys ever had a situation where you've stepped up?
I don't know.
as a
This kid
kid?
was being kind of a jerk, and he came and tried to punch me when I was like in middle school, and I caught his hands and kneed him in the stomach. And he never messed with me again.
Good job, Brett.
My brother, when we first moved from private school to public school, my brother caught a lot of heat for being just a very outspoken individual, let's say. And one day after school, these kids were like surrounding him, and they came up, and I was protecting him. And one of my friends ran to the rescue and was like, "Hey, that dude is like one of our friends. Like, don't fuck with him, whatever." And then the kid, after the scuffle that we had, followed me home with a knife.
Oh my God.
And the
Ooh,
entire
chills.
time, because we'd walk home, the school was close to where I lived, and the entire time I had to like make sure the situation didn't escalate. Like, tried to relate to him on a human level, and because I was so late going back home because I took the slow way, he's like, I'm gonna stab you, I'm gonna kill you,
Holy
whatever.
shit, he
And-
said those things?
Yeah, but I mean, he was a kid. I don't think he like actually meant it.
Still.
But now looking back at it, and then what's funny to me is because I was late, my mom was outside waiting for me, and she saw it. She saw the situation, and she just yelled like, "Why are you so late?" Like, she just started yelling at me, and then the kid ran away.
Right.
So
Yeah.
she saved my life.
Oh, Mama
But I guess that
Bear.
was
Saved by the bell. Saved by the mom.
In that instance, yeah, I was saved by my mom yelling at the kid, and the only thing that he got after it was like public shaming by our principal. That's it. Nothing
Which
like
can be
that.
damaging, though. He should have gotten more, but perhaps
They like
that was
he
enough.
like they pulled his ear and stuff, and like he cried and apologized. But like, holy shit!
That's
now that
pretty-
I think about it, it's
That's
like so Turkish.
gnarly.
That's
to be
very
told that
Turkish.
I'm going to stab
Yeah,
you and
like
I'm going to...
in America, that would not have.
They did what? You pulled his ear? All he had was a knife.
Yeah.
What about you, Grace?
I can't really think of anything of the sort of magnitude of this girl or really any of your stories, but one time I caught a punch when I was in a fight and I thought that was cool.
Like with your hand?
Yeah.
And you squeezed it?
was-
I thought you were just saying like I caught a punch. You
Yeah.
caught a punch.
Yeah, there was
That's
a kid was like
amazing.
going to
Superman did
punch
that.
me.
That's
and I was
amazing.
probably in like, well, it was before we moved to Belgium, so I must have been really little. What was I getting into? I was like probably 6, yeah.
So someone goes...
And someone goes and I like caught it and I like pushed it
Yes,
away.
Grace!
And they were like,
You're my hero!
"Oh!" And but we also had an awkward moment because I was getting into a fight with kids that I actually kind of like we were fighting, but it was like we kind of also liked each other. You know how that
Yeah,
dynamic
it's
is.
weird and graceful.
And so like when I pushed and everyone was like, "Whoa!" It was this awkward moment of like. We're gonna be friends in like a couple weeks, right? Like we're gonna be cool about this, even though there was like this whole like fight that gathered around little kids.
That's
but
so weird that people gather around. I remember that. We used to all gather
Yeah.
around.
You used
I'd
to
be part
take
of
it to
too.
the park.
And then
So-
people would be like,
Take it to the
fight,
park.
fight, fight. I hate that. I
yeah.
hate
So
that.
watching this video, I was like, when if I
caught
was
a
6, if I'd,
punch.
yeah.
That's so cool that you caught a
his
I
punch.
also then was also punched like in the stomach. So like I caught one, but I also took one. So
Still, you're like a superhero to me.
Superhero Grace.
Please share your thoughts in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe and share your stories. We want to know. We'll see you next time on Pop Trigger.